What is up, Dallas, Fort Worth area, and everyone else who is watching me wherever you guys are at? I am so excited for tonight. Got a couple of things to start. Hold on, something's on over here. I'm being very unprofessional, y'all. Sorry.
How dare you?
I know, right? So unprofessional. I am Queen Petty, and this is the Petty Podcast. I am your hostess for tonight, and I am super excited to be here. Tonight, I'm wearing my favorite shirt. I bought this the other day, and I was like, this is my new favorite shirt because I am living the dream. Are we not? Like, when we do what we love to do, we are living the dream.
Oh, yes.
Right? And I tell everybody all the time, you know, how you doing? I'm living the dream. Because you got to manifest it into existence, right? Right. So, just a little short, quick, little side thing that we have to do. Just a quick announcement. I wanted to address our viewership, our Petty Squad, and let y'all know that Adam is no longer part of the Petty Podcast. He has left the show for very personal reasons. It is his story to tell, so we're not going to go into detail about it. We wish him well. There is no hate between us, I promise. We are still bestest of friends. He is still one of my ride or dies. I just know and understand what he's going through and that he needs to take care of that business on that end, you know, before he can further what we've got going here. So will he be back? Most definitely, most likely, you know, and we're going to keep his seat warm with a special guest every Wednesday night. So if you are interested in being a special guest on the Petty Podcast, please reach out to me and let me know. But moving on, because we're not going to dwell on that a little bit for too long.
He's secretly just doing auditions. Just move
I think
on.
so. I think
Don't-
he's back. I think he's like trying to travel back and forth and do auditions,
Yeah.
you know, for his
Yeah.
little videos. Yeah. And I don't hate him for that. I don't hate him for that.
yeah.
Whatever needs to happen. Like, you know, yeah.
Send those auditions my way.
Send those tapes my way so that way we can put those out there because that would be super cute.
We do love you, King of Shade.
Yeah,
though.
we
So,
love him.
Who is this deep voice? That I
Yes.
heard?
So the guy sitting next to me tonight is a special friend of mine. I want to say that from the moment we met back at the other studios on Hervé Street, like we instantly like became friends.
Yep.
I think it was almost like the first day.
It was meant to happen.
Yeah. We crossed paths and we're like, hey, I'm so-and-so. Hey, I'm so-and-so.
Right.
You know, and so ever since then, you have been a big supporter of my show, a big supporter of anything that I've had anything to do with, and my husband. And we have been big supporters of you as well.
Yeah.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to my special guest tonight. His name is Trey Dillon, and he is with Say Something from right here on DallasOnAir.com. You are on Thursday nights. You are the
Thursday
number one
night.
hit show on Thursday nights, I heard.
Trying to tell them, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to take over. What's going on here, everybody? Yeah.
I am so happy you're here. And
you,
I
thank you.
understand tonight my topic is going to educate you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So over on the ones and twos, ladies and gentlemen, you do not see her, but you hear her. She is the incomparable Duchess of Dallas, Miss Lady Cat. How are you?
In honor of my friend and compadre Trey. Ricky, I'm here, y'all.
Don't make him choke on his drink.
I was trying to swallow it before she went there. She almost got me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. I love you. But yeah, I'm here. It's been a day. Julie knows partially about my day. Maybe we'll get into it later, but I'm just glad that we're here and we're alive and
Hell
it's Wednesday night.
So you know how I wanted to share a story with you earlier. You know how we all have that one appliance in our house that's our favorite appliance and like
My coffee maker.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So do you have a favorite appliance in the
TV.
house? Your TV?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for me, don't laugh, but my favorite appliance is my hair dryer. Because you know how I feel about my hair, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm always like, I love to do my hair anytime I can get to do my hair because I'm in a business now where a lot of times I go to work and I just throw it up in a bun. And so when I get the opportunity to do my hair, that's like a big deal. So I get out of the shower today, put all the stuff in my hair that I need to put in to make it nice and smooth and, you know, all that. Go to grab my hair dryer and I try and turn it on and it doesn't turn on. I thought, oh no, there's got to be I'm flipping the switch and I'm like, no. I did the test and retest and all that, right? And it wouldn't come on. I tried the plug. It just wasn't working, right? So then I changed bathrooms. I went to another bathroom and it still wasn't working. I was literally in tears because my hairdryer wouldn't work.
That's what you meant by it almost didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luckily, when my daughter moved out, she left some things in her bathroom, and one of those was a hairdryer. So I was able to at least do what I needed to do. But I kept running around the house and I kept yelling at my husband, babe, my hairdryer doesn't work. My hairdryer. I can't get it to work. My hairdryer. And he goes, okay. Like, what do you want me to do? And like, he was getting ready to leave to go to the store for something. And he kept looking at me like, put it up. I don't know. What do you want me to do? And I wanted him to say, let me go run to Dollar General and get you a hairdryer.
John, that's part of one of the intimacies. Go get a dryer from the store.
That's what that is?
Like, know when to do what you need to do for your partner, right? So yeah, that happened. But I'm glad that, everything worked out. We were good to go. I was here on time. Normally I'm not.
Right.
But I'm here.
Ask Kat how I am when I can't find my pencils.
Right.
Fun. We don't even do a show.
We wouldn't do a show.
We don't do a show?
If I don't find my pencils, if I forget my pencils, we're not doing a show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my pencils are that important.
That's good to know.
Well, but that's you too, right? Didn't you like one day you didn't have makeup on and you were like, no, fuck this.
No,
I'm not doing a show.
I couldn't even get off of work in time, and I was like, there's no way I'm going. No, I
Trevor,
can't.
John, y'all got it.
Yeah, you guys, you do it. I'll sit in the sidelines. I can't do it. Yeah, so I understand that. You have to have your mind.
I don't have to have it now, though.
No, because you're just here.
Right.
You're going to learn some stuff today.
That's what I'm waiting on.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So today's topic is actually a two-part topic. We're going to cover part of it this week, and then next week we're going to cover the second half of it, okay? Because it's such a long topic, and we can dive right into it. And there's so many, it's almost like a hand, right? It's one big topic, but you got all these little things going on.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about intimacy. And so when I say intimacy to you, what's the first thing you think of when you hear intimacy?
I think of slow music, romance.
Okay.
I think of Luther Vandross or Gerald Levert, you know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
Candles and,
soft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kat, what do you think of when you think of intimacy?
Affection. Affection. Emotionally there,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're kind of diving deeper into it,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of times when you have a conversation and you talk about being intimate with somebody, the first thing a lot of people think of is sex.
Bow, chicka, bow,
Yeah,
wow.
that's the very first thing that intimacy is synonymous with, right? But actually, it's not even, sex is part of intimacy, but that's not what intimacy is. Right? So there are actually 6 different types of intimacy. Okay? You didn't bring your pencil, so you can't take notes, but you're going to put all, okay. All right. So the very first, and the most common form of intimacy is physical intimacy. Okay? That's, when, touching, cuddling, kissing, sex is part of that, right? Holding hands. That is the most crucial to a healthy and lasting relationship. Okay, that's when we talk about intimacy, that's what everybody dives into, and it's a very big part of intimacy with a partner.
Do you find that men have more of a lack of intimacy than women? Do you think women are more in tune with that than guys?
I think that women are more intimate. They think more intimately. Men are kind of like just,
physical.
It's okay to hold my hand, but you don't have to.
Because I'm not going to try and come across, I don't want to come across as like, Fred Flintstone and shit, but yeah, I'm thinking to myself, hand holding is cool, but a lot of guys like, all right, pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some men are just feel like that it's not, that it's more of a womanly thing to do. But actually, I love when my husband just randomly reaches out and just grabs my hand.
Right.
I love that, because that means that he wants to connect with me.
Emotionally.
Emotionally. Yeah. Hugging. How often do you hug somebody?
I don't really have that many people to hug.
You just hugged 2.
Right.
Yeah, you did. You just had 2 people, right?
Right.
So we have that there's no boundary there where a hug is not okay, right? A lot of people with intimacy issues, they won't allow somebody to come in and give them a hug.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
don't have a lot of people close enough to me that I want to hug. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It's like, yeah, just dap me up. 'Cause,
So,
you know,
so yeah, you feel like you can't be that, you
Yeah.
can't cross that intimacy
that's
border
level
with
5
them.
security clearance.
Exactly,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right. But did you know that a 20-second hug can show and make you feel a lot more different than just a quick pat on the back?
Right.
Have you ever hugged somebody for at least 20 seconds?
Not that I can remember.
No? Next time you hug somebody that you're really close to, just don't go up to a random stranger and
Right.
just hug them for 20 seconds. But somebody that you're close to, hug them for 20 seconds and see how that makes you feel.
You mean like a kid or some shit? Like one of my...
A kid, but you know what? Here's the thing: is people these days, they're so like anti, touch and
Right,
anti,
as you say that, I'm trying to think, who would I hug for 30 seconds?
So a relative maybe, just to. Okay, you're rolling your eyes.
I'm trying to think. I'm doing the Martin eyes, like,
So I didn't actually believe that this was a thing, right?
Right.
And so somebody had actually told me, about the 20-second thing. So I went home and I was like, come here. And I gave my husband a hug. And at first he started to pull away after 5 seconds because to him that was a long enough hug. And I said, no. I said, hug me for a little bit longer. And we both kind of like, we stood there
Right.
for 20 seconds and we hugged each other and it just felt different.
Gotcha.
It felt more of a connection than, just a quick,
And I
There you
believe
go.
that, because like I said, I can't think of anybody that I want to hug,
yeah.
outside
One
of
day
this
you
room
will.
for 30 seconds.
One day you will, right?
Let's hope.
Like,
We still got prayer.
right. So, but yeah, so physical intimacy, that's a big part of any kind of relationship. The next part of intimacy, the second tier of intimacy is emotional intimacy.
Oh, shit.
Okay. This is demonstrated through words and communication. It is the most difficult of the intimacies,
Especially for men.
right?
Man.
Because you don't want to share your feelings.
What
Because why?
Right.
Because it makes you feel
Vulnerable,
exactly.
Exactly.
It makes you feel vulnerable.
But a comedian, I forget who it was off the top of my head, once told a joke. He was telling about how he doesn't tell his girlfriend anything because then when they get to arguing, she want to bring the shit
She
back up.
wants to bring it
right.
up.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So that's why guys don't want to share stuff. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
so remember that, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Okay, so again, it's the most difficult of the 6 intimacies.
Yes.
Okay, because you have to share your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions, and it makes you vulnerable. Okay,
Yes.
it is also so this intimacy is dependent on trust. That's where the whole "don't use it against me when we
And
fight."
You know
right?
how hard it is to get trust.
Exactly. So this is not something that is developed overnight. This
Right.
is something that is developed through time.
Right.
So I can honestly say that my husband and I use him a lot in our relationships because part of where this is coming from is somebody asked me, how did you guys, we're getting ready to go up on our 20th anniversary.
Right,
And
congratulations.
so, yeah, thank you. And so it's part of, what we learned from each other. And so we had to take these 6 intimacies and figure that out over 20 years.
Right.
Okay. So the trust had to be there for me to share my feelings and my thoughts with him, because you have to be able to look at your partner and say, you know what, I feel this way.
Right.
Don't use it against me, because you may not feel this way. You know what I mean?
Right.
So definitely the trust has to be there.
Man, that's hard.
Yeah. So the next intimacy is intellectual intimacy. So this is an area where most couples do not consider, they just don't consider this during their relationship. Okay. This occurs when you share ideas, exchange thoughts and views, and you have like a back and forth conversation. Okay, so my view on things may be different than John's view
Right.
on things, but it's okay because we're sharing our views and it's okay to disagree.
Yeah, I have a healthy relationship.
It's right. So we are on that intellectual intimacy where it's okay for me to be a Cowboy fan and him to be a Bronco fan, and we're not going to hate each other for it. You can. There are some relationships you can't have that. Right? That's a hate relationship.
You see how I had to look off when you said Bronco fan? I'm like, wait a minute, let me say what's up to some tuners in, man. We got Gail Barnett, we got Ro Daniels. Gail says she loves the deepness in my voice. I appreciate that, Gail. You know what I'm saying? Take compliments all the time. You taking phone calls, huh?
I will take phone calls.
469-708-8609. We're talking about intimacy tonight, people.
Let's do it. So, part of the intellectual intimacy is you have to have enough respect for your partner to have a back and forth conversation, right? You also, one way that you can achieve this, this is just an example. Read the same book or read the same article and then sit down and discuss it, because you may read something a totally different way than your partner does.
You and Kat, y'all are so lucky. I mean, like I said, y'all done found y'all soulmates. Y'all happy and shit, reading the same book. I'm trying to think of the last time me and the girl watched the same TV program.
Right?
Like,
right?
You can really say that when your man reads you the book in bed. You don't even read that book. He reads that shit to you.
Say, man, that's player. That's player right there. You know, what the hell am I doing wrong?
Man, like when you're saying these, I'm like, check. This is why I'm gonna die with this man in the mountains smoking a blunt on my front porch.
Right. right. So the next intimacy up is creative intimacy. So this one is it's a less often discussed form of intimacy, right? It is expressing ourselves through our passions. Okay, and I'm going to give you a good example of how John and I have that creative intimacy. Okay, so creativity is any form of art, music, dance, physical activity, sports, exercise, or some other creative outlet, right? So for us, our creative outlet is the podcast, right? And so one way that John and I tackled that creative intimacy is that we were on the same podcast together, right? 12-pack.
Which I miss.
We had a special episode last week.
Right.
Yeah. We didn't always see eye to eye on that podcast, but that was something that we shared together, right? So we had that moment where we could go home and we could talk about, you know, what was going on, how that episode made us feel or whatever. And so we had that connection. A lot of the intimacies are about connecting with somebody. Okay. So when you share your talent, you want to make sure that you're with somebody that is open to embracing that with you. So you do a podcast. If you are with a partner that doesn't understand or doesn't support,
not going to work out.
It's not going to work out.
Some partners are jealous of another person's success.
Exactly. So that intimacy is not going to work out. And in order to have a healthy relationship, you kind of have to have all 6 of these together. Right? It kind of all has to mesh together.
Maybe that's my problem. Maybe you can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm just such a superstar. I'm just so spectacular. You know, it just, you know, women just intimidated and they can't see the matching that. You know what I mean? Maybe that's it, you know.
Or maybe, you know, they want their own.
Well, I love supporting people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So maybe they just don't understand, you know, the passion behind it. So maybe explaining, you know, why you're so passionate about it, you know, that's going back to having that discussion about who you are.
But we men suck at communicating.
You do.
Especially me.
You do.
I ain't telling nobody shit.
But no, you really don't have a hard time communicating because you communicate to your audience.
Yeah, but that's not intimate to me. I'm talking about like one-on-one, and I got a problem, you know with that. So. I got a problem with that.
Well, then you want to definitely dive into our episode next week, because next week we're going to talk about fear of intimacy and and what you can do to jump out of that.
I'm not scared of intimacy. I don't think most men are scared of intimacy. I'm going to try and speak for the guys for a second. I just think that we find most of those things beyond our scope of giving a damn. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, all the hugging, all the look me in my eyes and tell me what you're feeling, and the game is on. I mean, I'll tell you later. You know what I'm saying?
You have to pick your moments.
Yeah, there's
you
a
have to
time
pick
and a
your
place
moments
for everything.
Yeah.
Most guys are
So-
uncomfortable with unleashing their feelings anyway. You know what
True.
I'm saying? Unless it's with that special person that
True.
they've been riding with for years and years. But if you're talking about like the casual dating or the first year or so in a relationship, most guys,
They're not there yet.
at all.
And like I said, so intimacy is just not that bond is just not made overnight. That's something that you develop over time. So baby steps is key with intimacy.
I have a perfect question, especially with the beautiful ladies that I'm surrounded by. How do y'all feel about kissing? Now that is intimate.
That is a very intimate thing.
Yes.
That's part of physical intimacy.
Right.
I feel like what are we talking about? Like public displays or
Either or, just with your mate. You know what I'm saying? It's like because guys really don't like to kiss unless they with their wife. You feel me?
True.
Because for me anyway, I ain't gonna speak for nobody else. The first thing that comes to my mind is I'm gonna say it. I don't know what her mouth been.
okay.
I don't. And
kind
she
of
could be
women are
saying the
you
same thing
dating?
about me. She could be saying the same thing about me, but as a guy, I'm thinking to myself, we know what women. I ain't gonna go there, but
Yeah.
not me. I just can't do it. I just have a hard time with that.
So I'm a very I claim to be a very touchy-feely kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind a hug. I don't mind the holding hands. I definitely don't mind kissing.
Right.
But I don't like to cuddle. I hate to cuddle. But kissing for me, it's kind of one of those in the moment kind of things. John and I make it a habit. We kiss each other every time we leave each other. It just maybe just even a peck,
Right.
But it's that connection, right, for us. As far as like making out and just
See, that's
kind
what I was more
we're
talking
over
about.
that. We're over that. That's kind of like young love.
I don't mind
kinda
giving
stuff.
somebody like a okay,
Yeah.
but the rest of it.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Because you don't know where their mouth has
Exactly.
been. You don't know if they brushed
can't
your
do-
teeth
I can't do
that
that. I
morning,
can't
you
do
know?
that.
I think you have to have that trust with your partner to know, that connection with your partner.
Right.
Now, if you're going to kiss every girl in the club, no.
Some
you
people
got
nasty
issues.
like that.
You got issues.
Some people
if you gotta
nasty
do
like
that.
that, man.
That's gross. That's gross. Because if she's willing to kiss you, she's gonna go kiss somebody else. And if he's
tell you.
willing to kiss her, then he's kissing everybody else too. And y'all just
Exactly.
passing nowadays. You just passing COVID. You ain't passing herpes or anything else
Right.
around anymore. You passing COVID.
Right.
Think
exactly.
about that.
And people think I'm retentive because every time somebody leaves my house, I got the bleach, I got the towel, I'm wiping down the door.
Everything.
You still do that?
Hell yes.
Wow.
Hell yes.
I mean,
germaphobe, man.
Wow.
I don't have a lot of people to my house anymore.
I don't.
I don't have I used to have large parties.
I don't let
Kat,
people use my bathroom.
Yeah.
I have large parties. I don't. I have my own private bathroom, so I don't let anybody
I
in
tell
my
them
room or my
bathroom's under
private bathroom.
construction.
Yeah. So nowadays you kind of have to be that way.
Bathroom is intimate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
that's like my little personal. I don't want to be sharing toilet space with people.
Yeah.
That's intimate to me. That's
Yeah. Yep. So the next one is experiential, and I don't even know if I'm saying that, but experiential intimacy. And so that's where the COVID thing kind of comes in for us, is that's sharing experiences with somebody.
Right.
And COVID kind of forced couples to have that experiential intimacy, because a lot of families were stuck at home, and so you had to spend more time with each other, right? You go through these they don't have to be traumatic situations or experiences, but you go through these experiences with somebody, and it kind of you have a bond now.
You said you was going to teach me something. I'm learning a lot tonight.
Are you?
Yes, I'm learning why I don't have a girlfriend. Shit. You got COVID. Bitch, kick me your ass over there.
Well, but
I go get a hotel room.
But COVID kind of taught us, how it kind of took away that physical intimacy, because now we're afraid to handshake somebody, and now we're afraid to hug somebody or touch somebody, because now you don't even want to get 6 feet within
I
somebody.
feel like everybody has come down to my level. I've always been like, I don't like touching people,
yeah.
other people, I've always
COVID
been
was your
germaphobe.
COVID
right,
was
like,
your
thank you.
like thank you finally.
Right, I hate that, of course, of all the death, I'm not
Yeah.
joking about that, but yeah, I've never liked people, I've always liked thing.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
I think one of the experiences that, John and I had was 9/11. we were a young couple then. We had just moved in with each other then, and he actually was a manager of a gas station at that time. And so when 9/11 hit, it was like, that was a totally different experience, and we both kind of grew from that. We share that moment, we share that, our feelings and emotions for that, and we can talk about that, and that kind of bonded us a little bit together. But it doesn't have to be, something so traumatic as a world virus, or a terrorist act. It can be, a death in the family, or a situation,
like you said, a shared experience doing a podcast with somebody, bring you closer with them.
Exactly.
What I mean?
Exactly.
A lot of my stuff was done like when I took my latest trip. I was by myself, so when I got to see new things, I didn't have anybody to share that with. So it's like I got all these great memories, but I just got to keep it to myself because I don't have that life partner.
But if you had somebody to share that with,
it would have made it way better.
It would have created that bond between the two of you.
Right,
yep.
Exactly.
Yep. So the last one is another one that's kind of, it doesn't get talked about a lot, but it's the spiritual intimacy. And I'm not necessarily talking about religion.
Right.
I'm talking about, beliefs, mindfulness, just what the meaning of life is for you.
Right.
Having that discussion about, what is the meaning of life for you? Meditating together.
See, if people had these conversations before they just jumped in a sack with each other, the world would be a much better place.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You'd have longer lasting relationships.
Right.
You would. Because, you have to have that conversation. Because if you're getting in bed with an atheist and you're a straight up Catholic, like, it's never going to work out.
Not just that you want to know, at least I do. I want to know if there's any, history of mental illness in the family, so I need to know about people. Like, you ain't, man.
Just knowing somebody's beliefs at a higher level.
Right.
Not like I believe in, black is the color of the season. It's, do I believe in abortion? Do I believe in,
I'm doing conversations too deep for a lot of people.
It is a lot. It's really deep. It is really deep. And so those are conversations that you have later on. But these, it's like, so you kind of have to step. It's baby steps, right? The physical, the emotional, the intellectual. You have to take those in steps. You don't want to tackle it all at once, because then that's intimacy overload, right?
So you said intellectual is the one where you can kind of like come to an agreement, right? So now, do you really think that it would never work if an atheist and a Catholic were to get together? Like, could maybe people have like that supreme level of like intellectual intimacy? I don't know.
So I think that it's possible. I'm not going to say no, it's not possible. But here's where you're going to get into tricky ground. You kind of have to decide. So we'll take the atheist and Catholic relationship, right? So you kind of have to decide. So, let's give them names. Joanne and Pete, okay? Let's say Pete is the atheist, Joanne is the Catholic. Joanne gets up every Saturday, every Sunday, and goes to Mass. What is Pete doing?
Watching football.
Okay. So then you're not connecting on that level, right? And so then when it comes down to church dinners, church lunches, church functions, she's going to want Pete to tag along, or else she has to explain, my partner Pete, he's at home because he doesn't believe in God. That opens up a whole nother,
That's just saying like
right.
it's doomed.
So it kind of, and then she's mad at, the fact that she has to answer these questions, and she's resentful of him, and she goes home and she's like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm not saying it's always going to be like that. I'm just saying that that's kind of where you kind of have to decide, okay, do we draw a line here in the sand and say, you know what?
It won't work.
It's not going to work because then you have those conversations. Well, God is real. Well, God is not real. God is, it's a lot of arguing. It's a lot of turmoil, a lot of stress, right?
They're there.
Because how can you convince a Catholic a diehard Catholic, right, that God is not real? How do you convince an atheist that God is real? That's why I'm kind of saying, like, you have to kind of be understand their beliefs at a higher level. And that's just not like, let's take another, for instance, the Black Lives Matter movement, right? If I don't believe in Black Lives Matter, how am I going to date somebody who wears a Black Lives Matter shirt, right? How am I going to do that? It's never going to work because we're going to be constantly in turmoil having these discussions, right? So it's good to understand, I can put up with it for so long, but in the long run, is this really going to work out?
Compatibility.
It'll wear you down, right? And it's part of compatibility, right? So yeah, spiritual intimacy. It's always, looking for the meaning in the world, meditation, purposeness, just kind of mindfulness. And you don't have to believe in God, but do you yoga? Do you like yoga? Do you yoga together? Things like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but people, and it makes a lot of sense. A lot of people, though, they want to take the shortcuts and try and get their mind right without going through the proper steps to get their mind right. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then wonder why they're still going through the same stuff.
Exactly. So being intimate is it's not easy. It's not an easy process. It takes time. Like I keep saying, it takes time. It has taken my husband and I 20 years
Y'all still
to
do
get
date
to.
nights, right?
Absolutely. And that's part of being intimate. So there's a to-do list. I have a to-do list, right? How do you get back into, if you feel like intimacy is coming away from your relationship, if you feel that disconnect, how do you get back there? And so we're going to cover that next week on how to get back intimate, because honestly, so there was a show before mine that was talking a lot about, side chicks and cheating and stuff like that. And she asked, why do people do this? Why is this going on? And my answer is intimacy.
Right.
You don't have that intimacy with that partner. So when a woman, I can say from friends' experience, I won't mention any names, but friends' experiences, a woman, I would say 90% of the time, she cheats on her husband because she feels that intimacy is not there. And so she is going to look for that intimacy with somebody else, right? It's not about sex for her because, baby, we got toys, right? We already been there. But women often cheat because of a lack of intimacy in a relationship. Do you have a comment?
Oh, yeah.
Let's share it.
My homegirl, Angela Gorman, friend of the show, said, sad thing is people nowadays figure in their relationships, they say he do him and she do her. That's so dumb to me. You have to be at one accord. What happened to the us type relationship?
Exactly. Preach it to the choir, because that's what we're talking about, right? You have to be together. You have to have that connection, right? And the only way you're going to have that connection is putting your guard down. And giving your feelings. It's hard. I know it's hard.
Especially
I know
me.
it's hard. But dip your toe in the water. Just dip your toe in the water and just sit down with your lady and just say, you know what, let's go on a date night. Let's go somewhere quiet. Let's go on a date night. Go to the lake and just sit on a tailgate and just talk.
I don't mind doing stuff like that. It's just those opportunities have been far and few in between, and it's partly because, like I said, I've been kind of standoffish. You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably could have been dating somebody, but no, I'm good. You know what I mean? Because I haven't lived with anybody, man, in almost 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, shit, man,
It's hard to share spaces after that long.
Oh, my God.
Hard to share spaces.
I walked into my apartment this evening, and it was just so empty. And so I just gave my apartment a hug and was like, damn, I love this. I love coming home to nothing, man.
You don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to.
Everything is where I left it.
Yep.
Everything is how I want it. Everything is, oh my God.
I get it.
It's impossible to find somebody to deal with me.
I get it. But here's the thing is that the more times that you share experiences and share your feelings, and it doesn't have to be your whole life story and how you felt as a child. It can be one little detail.
It's like you said, it's a connection. It can be that one connection that links you with that person, and you build off of that.
Yeah, you build off of it. And your partner may ask you a question, a follow-up question to what you just said, and then you can understand each other, and then they share. In turn, they share. That's part of the process too, is that it's not just you giving away all your feelings and all your thoughts. It's your partner saying, okay, I accept that. Here's my feelings. And you have to say, I accept that.
I think the culture today, though, is what bothers me, the way a lot of women act. Of course, not all women. Yeah.
like that video that I tagged you in where she
Yeah.
fell and her little boy.
Yes, and yeah,
That
yeah.
it is the culture because we're
Right.
raised to like sexualize women and just it's disturbing these days.
I mean,
and that's why there's no like sensation or intimacy in these type of
I'm gonna
things.
talk about it on tomorrow's show. You know, shameless plug. The angry show, because there's a lot of these women out here that be pissing me off with the way they be acting and what they think is important. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you say, people just dive into bed and then wonder why the shit don't work out.
Exactly.
You don't even know his middle name.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That type, but, you know, I digress.
You don't even know if he's atheist.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, oh, I saw him at the club, he looked good, and then want to bring up, oh, I'm a single mom. Well, why are you a single mom? Maybe if you had did your due diligence, you wouldn't be a
You
single
wouldn't
mom.
be a single mom.
Oh, can't wait for tomorrow.
Yep.
Oh, I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm cursing.
So before we go, I want to share the 7 factors of intimacy. So these are the steps, right? These are the things that you have to factor in when you're getting ready to have that conversation with somebody, right? So first of all, top of the list, trust and being trustworthy. We've talked about that, right? You have to be able to trust somebody and you have to be trustworthy yourself. You can't go off and say, you know what, I'm going to use this against, let me file this.
You just lost 50% of men because they ass
Let
can't
me
be
file
trustworthy.
this, right? I think that a lot of men can be trustworthy,
No, they
right?
can't.
You
50% of them ain't nothing but dogs.
No, you-
I know. I know.
Speaking for 'em,
You know what I'm
right?
saying? I'm telling you, no matter how fine the woman that they got, no matter how good the woman they is, they still doing
they're
this
still
shit.
doing that.
Trying to tell you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, so we have someone on the Petty Podcast Facebook, and Estelle, I believe, says the side chicks keep the relationship strong, and men just want to breed.
See, that's the 50% of men that he was just talking about. See, I know who that is, and I'm so sad for him. I'm so sad for him.
I mean, some people
No.
are just, you know, some people are just destined to go through the shit that they're going through because of who they are.
I know he
and the
got
things
jokes.
they
I
do.
know he's got jokes, and that's a joke.
But I'm telling no, 50% of men ain't shit. That ain't no joke. That's my camera. 50% of men ain't shit. I said it.
Okay. All right. So trust and trustworthy is number 1. Acceptance on both sides. We just talked about that too. You have to be able to accept what somebody is telling you, right? It may not be something that you agree with, but you can't force somebody to feel the way you feel, right? So you kind of have to say, okay, I accept what you're saying, but this is how it makes me
A
feel.
lot of people get defensive though.
They do. Now is a society where everybody's so sensitive and
Thank
gets
you.
offended by every little
Right,
thing, right?
exactly.
And so intimacy is really hard. That's why I'm trying to teach. You know, let's change the culture in relationships, and maybe we might have less divorces, right? I'm not saying that my relationship is perfect, because by all means it's not perfect, right? We have our moments, right? But we know when to push and to pull with each other. And so and now we just don't even fight anymore. You know, I don't think we've had a big blowout knockout fight in like a long time. Because now it's just like, you know, I just look at him and be like, you're stupid. And I go to the bedroom. And then 15 minutes later, he's coming in. Okay, I'm sorry.
I can't
You
stand
know?
arguing.
I can't. I can't, because you say the most hurtful
It
things.
takes too much energy.
So I told my daughter one time, and this is kind of a lesson for parents that you can take away what you want from this as a parent. My daughter was like, I would say 10, and she was getting into an argument with the neighbor's daughter. Right. So I where I live, I have a girl on this side, a girl on this side, and I have a girl in my house. So the 3 of them would play together, but then be mean girls together, right? And so the mom came over one day and she's like, your daughters are being so bully, you know, they're bullying my daughter. And I'm like, okay. So I sat my daughter down, right? And this kind of goes into a marriage as well, right? Or a relationship. I took a plate and I told her, I said, here's some toothpaste. Empty the toothpaste onto the plate, right? And once she did, I told her, I said, okay, now put the toothpaste back. And she's like, well, I can't. Everything she tried, right? I can't. I said, okay, so imagine the toothpaste are your words to somebody. Imagine they're your words to somebody. And you've just spewed all this out, right? And so now the fight is over and you're trying to take it all back. You can't.
At all. Can't unring that bell.
You can't, right? So you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So you have to be mindful when you're fighting with somebody that when you tell somebody how you, when you say something out of hate, you know, you can't take that back. And that person gets to live with that, and they will file that away.
Hate or drunkenness.
They will file it away.
Hell yes.
They will file it away. That goes along with honesty. Right? You have to be honest with your partner about how you feel about situations.
I have no problem telling people.
I know you don't.
Yeah,
I know you don't. Just watch your show. Just watch your show. The other one is safety. You have to feel safe sharing something, and your partner has to feel safe telling you something.
Right.
Okay? Because it could be a tragic situation that happened in their past, you know, before they met you. And you have to make your partner feel safe that it's okay to say these things to me. I'm not going to use them against you.
Right. They might need to get that off their chest or something.
Right,
you know what
right.
I'm saying?
It may be a way, you know, so I had a friend that they confessed to me the other day that they broke up with their partner, their boyfriend, because they felt like the boyfriend was forcing themselves on her, right?
How long have they been together?
Just a few months.
Okay.
So they broke up with him because, you know, they had a tragic situation in high school where they were raped. And they said that to the partner, but the partner never responded in kind and said, you know what, okay, let me be understanding, a little more gentle. That's why relationships break.
Right. Because
you don't take a moment and listen to the person's situation, right? The other part is compassion, feeling cared about, forgiveness and understanding. It only exists from compassion.
Yeah, check me off that list right there.
You're not compassionate at all. No.
Hell no. If I got 2 seconds, can I be discompassionate for a second? Let me give you a small preview of tomorrow's show.
Do it.
Cat. Every week, don't I holler at the people in Louisiana? Don't I holler at the people in New Orleans? Let me tell you something. If y'all ass want to live 8 feet below sea level, where it keep flooding and raining and natural disasters, then y'all want to run y'all ass over here to Dallas? No, stay there.
You wanted to live there, right?
I don't have no compassion. You want to live there? Live there. Accept it for what it is. Quit running your ass over here, messing up our resources. Compassion. I ain't got none. Sorry.
So actually somebody said something in kind like that today, because I was like talking about New Orleans and, you know, and stuff. And they were like, you know what? They know these hurricanes come through here.
Same thing with people who live in Tornado Alley.
And so, and you know what? Exactly, right? I got out of Oklahoma because I was tired of all the tornadoes.
There you go, see?
Right?
Well, we gonna rebuild.
But then they want to ask for all this money and all this help and sit online and, you know, I'm so sad. You know, no. Like, you lived through Katrina, move out.
That was enough. That was it.
That was it, right? I have friends who lived through Katrina and they moved out.
Now, see, when they came over here then, I was open arms. I'm like, man, that was messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this Ida thing, hey, man, this should just be like a tropical storm to y'all. Y'all should be good, man. Stop it. No compassion. And the same thing with sick people. See, I'm one of those guys who, if you know, my partner's sick, oh, she's just sick on her own. I'm not helping you.
See, that's a man thing.
That's why you're single.
There you go.
It's a man thing. It is a man thing.
Go.
But
let us get sick.
Let you get sick.
Yeah, you better take care of me.
You're on your
right.
deathbed.
Yes.
I am dead. Better prepare my coffin.
Yes.
Here's
All
what I
of that.
want at my funeral.
All of that.
All angry.
I can't eat. I don't
It hurts to
know.
blink.
Oh
Bet
my
though, when we're
God.
sick, we got dinner and the house.
Right?
clean.
We're expected to clean the house
Right.
and have dinner and, you know, and especially if we got kids.
Hey.
Oh, you better not let them kids go either because you got to take
Y'all
care
gotta
of
do what
those
y'all
kids.
gotta do, man. See, men get sick way worse than y'all. Our immune system is different. Hey, favorite niece of mine. Our immune system is different. When we get sick for real. Y'all get sick, man. Y'all can just go and walk through it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all deal with pregnancy and morning sickness. Getting a cold shouldn't be shit to y'all.
I want men to experience pregnancy just once.
No.
Just once.
And every man will tell you he wants a woman to experience getting kicked in the balls just once.
You know what?
They're about equal.
We're gonna leave that right there. We're gonna leave that right there. Let's move on to the next factor of intimacy, which is affection. It's it's most known. It's the physical. It's the kissing. It's the touching. It's the that's the most the biggest known factor of intimacy, right? It's the go-to. When your wife tells you, I just don't feel like you love me, what's the first thing a man does? Well, come here, honey.
Right.
Let me hug you. Let me cuddle you. Because I guarantee that's what John does. I tell him all the, not all the time, but I tell him sometimes, man, I just feel very unloved right now. And that's the first thing he does.
Yeah, that's men's safety zone right
Yeah.
there. Talk to me like you said,
Come here, let me hug you.
mental intimacy and all of that.
But he knows that I'm not a cuddler. I don't like to cuddle. So, but what does he want to do? He wants to cuddle. When I tell him that, right? But maybe it's that instead of cuddling with me, maybe write me a thank you note. Maybe write me a note that says, hey, I love you. You're doing a great job, and then I feel a little better. We're going to get into ways that you can show intimacy next week,
Gotcha.
right? That's part 2.
Gotcha. Instead of bound chick or bound wow.
Wow, right. So the last factor of intimacy is communication. Okay, so you've already said men are out.
Right.
Men are out.
Especially
But
right.
that is the key to a healthy relationship, is to be brutally honest with your partner. And that's one of the things that John and I agreed to when we got married, is that we were going to put brutal honesty on the table. Like, it doesn't matter how bad it hurts.
Right.
We have to be honest with each other, and we have to go through that pain together, right? And so there have been things that he's told me that it hurts. I have to take a second, I have to step back. I have to feel my feelings.
You're already better than a lot of women.
I
They
have
don't
to feel
step
my
back.
feelings. And even now I have to tell him, okay, we're going through this. You have to let me have my feelings, and I'm going to go through it. I'm going to cry. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to yell. I may even shut down, but you have to let me go through that, and I'll come out on the other side and I'll be okay.
Gotcha.
So letting your partner have their emotions and their feelings, that's part of being intimate.
Yeah, I suck right there too. I do. I do. I suck at communicating, because when I'm leaving the house, babe, where you going? I'll be back. I'm telling you, shit, I'll be back. You don't need to know where I'm going. But I need to stop doing it. I have stopped doing that, or tried to anyway. But yeah, I suck at communication. Like, man.
Okay, so real quick, hold on. So your chat is blowing up, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah.
We've got someone on the Dallas On Air chat that says, wow, Trey, you're super good looking. And then they really like this grown up soft Trey. And then the other one, the other one is on the Petty podcast. And it has to do with John. Says John is the goat of the Mitchells, and he's also, I think, talking to you, Trey. He says, your response about compassion was one of my jokes for the flood people. You just pissed off all the black people like he did.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about pissing nobody off, black or white. I don't care. I say
So
what I
let me
see.
respond in kind to the whole John Mitchell is the goat of the Mitchells.
Yeah.
No. 'Cause John didn't know all this shit. John learns from me.
Right.
And you kind of have to nurture that relationship. I learned a lot from him, and that's more on the sports side and all that, right? But it's a give and take. Like, when it comes to the emotional stuff, I kind of have to sit down. I'm like, okay, babe, let me talk to you a minute, right? And so, yeah, we do our date nights and all that stuff, and we check in with each other. We know, what's going on. We communicate with each other, and so that's why I feel like, we have a very healthy relationship. Is it perfect? No.
Women have to be more patient with us.
We
man.
do. We have to teach you, because
Right.
obviously you don't want to communicate.
Exactly.
You don't trust anybody.
Exactly.
All you want to do is run around with the side chicks and breed.
Not
That's
me.
what I got from
Not
you.
me. Not me. I just keep everything internal until I find somebody that passes level 7 security clearance that I
Okay.
can share stuff with. Because y'all know me, man. I got stuff that you just can't tell everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you gotta be on point to get my secrets.
So next week, we're going to talk about the fears of intimacy and how that breaks down. And then we're going to talk about ways that you can be more intimate with your partner. That's part 2 of the series. I do want to say before we go tonight, I'm opening up a new segment next week. Hopefully I can get some responses. But it's going to be called Ask Queen Petty.
Okay.
And so you can ask me anything. Ask me about my life, ask me about sports, ask me about relationship stuff, ask me advice.
I just thought of 7 questions already.
You can ask me anything, and so you can offer. We can do these anonymously, or I can put your business out there.
Right.
You know, it's up to you. If you have a question that you would like to ask me, I would like you to submit that. Go to our page, which is the Petty Podcast. You can message us directly, and just give me some information on what if you're asking me a relationship advice, it might be helpful to give me a little bit of backstory. I don't need to know the entire story,
Right.
just a little information, so that way I can give some, honest feedback.
Oh, I can't wait for LaQuisha to call you.
I will. I will not be answering questions about politics or religion. I tend to stay away from that stuff. I feel like your views are your views, and my views are my views, and we don't have to agree, but we don't have to make it a debate either.
Right.
So I will kind of stay away from those, and depending on how many questions I get, we'll go. We'll do 1 or 2 a night and see, go from there.
Mark me down for 5 next weekend.
So 5, okay. You can submit that. You can text me yours.
Cool, guys.
If you know my phone number, you can text me your questions, and I will read them on air for you, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. So, but yeah, so I had fun tonight. Trey, I want to ask you, we always end the show the same way every night. What did you learn tonight?
I learned, once again, why I'm single. I learned there are a lot of layers to intimacy. I mean, I knew a lot of them, but you know what I'm saying, when you break down and peel them back like an onion, you know what I mean? You could talk about intimacy, like you just said, a whole 2-part show.
Yeah.
So
we could actually do a 3-part show if
Right.
I really, really wanted to, but
Right.
we're going to cut it down to 2, and
that's what's up.
I hope that you kind of took away something that, will help you in the future if,
I am
it
going
comes
to try
to
and
it.
communicate better. That's
Okay.
what I'm, because I don't, my communication game suck. You
Let me
what I
know
mean?
how that works out for you.
As soon as I find somebody to communicate with, I got you. Maybe the person who thought I was looking good. What's up, girl?
Hey.
What's up, girl?
Yeah, no,
All
maybe
right,
it's the person you're going to give that 20-second hug to.
So, hey,
That 20-second hug, that's
looking
what it's
for 'em.
about.
I'm looking for
That's
'em.
what it's about,
Hell yes.
right? Kat, did you learn anything tonight?
I did. It's really surprising that there's that many levels of intimacy, you know? And what I really did learn, though, is like with all these 6 different levels of it, I really do have a really good, healthy relationship. Like with the aspects of us working together, being creative together, him supporting my addictions with plants and fish. I mean, all of it. And you kind of take things for granted. And I just want to go home and tell him congratulations on that 100 you just got on your test, because he just texted me. And, just appreciate my relationship, because I'm lucky. I really am. So thank
Good.
you for opening my eyes
For
and
sure.
allowing me to appreciate my awesome, intimate relationship.
That is what we are here for.
Hell yes.
That is what we're here for. Again, if you have a question for myself, Queen Petty, you can DM me. Go to our Facebook page at the Petty Podcast and submit your question there. You can do it anonymously by DMing me, private messaging me, or if you want to put it on the Facebook page. I mean, it is what it is. If you prefer to be anonymous when I answer your questions, please specify on your question that you would like to remain anonymous, and I won't share your information. If not, then I'll just share your first name and the how I know you. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. So anyways, I like to end the show as always. Life is always about struggles between choices and goals. Stay strong and stay courageous. Focus your vision on what makes your heart happy and never stay satisfied. You, Trey,
right.
can achieve greatness.
I'm trying.
As always, I am Queen Petty. Tonight, my special guest was Trey Dillon from the Say Something show on DallasOnAir.com, the #1 hit show on Thursday nights.
Yep.
I am the #1 show on Wednesday
Yep.
nights.
Right.
I am so thankful for you to be here tonight.
Thanks for having me
Like
again.
I said, you are always here for me, and you're
Yeah.
such a great friend. This is kind of, I didn't want to put it out there earlier, but you and I kind of share like an intimacy because
Right.
we share this talent, we share this kind of, and you and I can have conversations and be open with each other. And so when you talk about like you just don't want to be intimate with somebody, guess what?
Already been.
You're already there.
See, just learned something else.
It's just baby steps, baby.
what's up.
That's all it is.
Now I take this and transfer this over to some shit over
Right.
there. I got you.
I'm looking forward to your show tomorrow night.
Oh, it's going to be fire.
What time is that on?
7 p.m. right here in Dallas on air. I am going to be on Fuego, man. Cat, I hope you're going to be ready.
Always.
We're going to make some people mad. I don't care.
I can't wait. I'm
Yeah.
going to put it on while I'm cooking dinner.
Appreciate it.
Yep. I am Queen Petty for the Duchess of Dallas, Miss Lady Cat, and Trey Dillon. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Stay tuned for next week. We're going to have another great episode. We'll see you guys later.